Hey, we was having some technical difficulties we had to work out, but we're gonna get back into this real quick, man. Again, we bringing out pretty much how our so-called leaders, man, black leaders that's supposed to be shepherds for the blacks, Latinos, and Native American communities, man, how them teaching us to be an enemy to the Lord and sell out and selling out to our oppressor is the reason these other nations feed on us the way they do, man. This is why they're in our communities and stuff, and they becoming multi-millionaires while we struggle to pay light bill. You see what I'm saying? Like, we got to thank Negro leaders for that, man. You know what I'm saying? And we left off in Jeremiah chapter 23 and 1. We're gonna start that from the top again, Bubba Show.
This is the book of Jeremiah, chapter 23, verse 1. Woe be unto the pastors that destroy and scatter the sheep.
It says, woe be unto the pastors that destroy and scatter the sheep of my pasture. You understand? Like, destruction be unto them. You understand? This is what the Lord is saying. Destruction, woe means destruction. Be unto the pastors that destroy and scatter the sheep of my pasture, saith the Most High. You understand? Like, this is what happens. Like, these leaders, these pastors and deacons and bishops and, you know, all these different titles that they have, you understand? Like, they scatter the Lord's sheep, man, by teaching us that we ain't got to keep no rules, no regulations, no commandments. Listen, if you tell anybody that they ain't got to follow no rules and they can do whatever the hell they want to do, you feel me? They're going to go into all different walks of life, you understand? And they're going to serve other gods.
Right.
And at the end of the day, are they wrong? Because if you teach us that we ain't got to keep no rules, all we got to do is believe in Jesus, is it wrong when we go and do these wicked things against the Most High? In our minds, no. You understand? Because we think as long as we believe in Jesus, we're good. Unfortunately, we're realizing, man, we're not good. You understand? Like, we still dying in these streets. Like, here in Baltimore, like I was saying, like, even during the pandemic, we supposed to be in the house out. You see what I'm saying?
Right.
We still averaging 350 murders a year in a city big as Baltimore. You understand? We ain't talking about the surrounding counties. We talking about the city. You understand? Like 350 murders a year, man. Brothers still getting robbed, shot, and stabbed. You see what I'm saying? Like, it's ridiculous, man. It's because we don't have a moral compass because it's been taken away by our so-called leaders, man. Keep going.
Come. This is the book of Jeremiah, chapter 23, verse 1. And scatter the sheep of my pasture, saith the Most High. Verse 2. Therefore, thus saith the Most High, a power of Israel, against the pastors that feed my people. Ye have scattered my flock, and driven them away.
It is to say, ye have scattered my flock, and driven them away. You understand? Like, this is what the so-called leaders of black people do. They scatter the Lord's flock, man, and drive us away. Why? How have they driven us away from the Most High, man? Because a lot of times before people hear what you're saying, they see what you're doing. You understand? You go into that Christian church, man, you see all manners of wickedness, man. You see nothing but homosexuality, adulterers and adulteresses. You understand? Nothing but gossiping and backbiting and all that nonsense. Man, if you really bought something, you ain't trying to be a part of, be associated with none of that nonsense, man. So in turn, you go into a deep corner over here in, you know, what's that, East Indian culture or something, you feel me? You got to get dreads and, you know, grow your nails long, you get into astrology, and you got to do all these wickedness. You understand? Just to feel like you belong to something instead of you belonging to your own culture, man.
Right.
This is how they drive the Lord's flock away. Keep going.
Come. Ye have scattered my flock and driven them away, and have not visited them.
Not visited. Like, you ain't checked on these people, man. You understand? Like, you haven't seen how these people are living. You understand? All that matters to you is that tithe money, man.
Come.
You understand? When Moses was high up in Egypt at the time, and he seen his people being afflicted, the first thing Moses asked was, how you living, man? How are you living? You understand? Moses visited his people, man. How you living, man? You know, how is life for you? You understand? Instead of saying, man, listen, You ain't got what I got. It's because you're weak. It's because you ain't doing your part. You understand? Now go ahead and tithe that money and have $1,000 faith. You understand? Go ahead, bro.
So, like I said, if I can add something, if I may. So, like I said, and this is if in the book of Daniel, if I may, like Daniel, this is you could tell why Daniel was a righteous leader of our people, because Daniel, it's in Daniel 4, verse 27, when he was talking to Nebuchadnezzar, and when he interpreted the thing from Nebuchadnezzar, and then I think he asked Nebuchadnezzar, and Nebuchadnezzar asked him like, "Oh, what would you have me do, when you interpret it?" And Daniel was like this, if I can read it. Daniel chapter 4, verse 27, he said, "Wherefore, O my king, let my counsel be acceptable to thee, and break off thy sins by righteousness, and thine iniquities by showing mercy to the poor, if it may be a lengthening of thy tranquility."
Right.
It's like he had like a different attitude, towards, he thought about his people, and he thought about, show mercy, so you could tell he was not a wicked, leader of our people.
That's the spirit of a leader that's led by the Most High.
Come.
You understand? Daniel was someone who the Most High was with.
Come.
And therefore he wanted to. When you are led by the Most High, you take care of the Most High's people, man.
Come.
When you're not led by the Most High, you take care of the people who oppress the Most High's people.
Come.
You know what I'm saying? And that's what we say in the scriptures. And that was a good point to bring out too. You feel me? Continue. Pick up where you left off about the show.
Verse, this book of Daniel, chapter 23, verse 2. Behold, I will visit upon you the evil of your doing, saith the Most High.
It is. You say, I will visit upon you the evil of your doings, man. Like teaching our people that we ain't got to keep no laws, statutes, and commandments, man, is something evil, man. Being a filthy, disgusting homosexual, man, is something evil in the sight of the Lord. You understand? Being an adulterer and breaking up families, you understand, is something evil in the sight of the Lord. You understand? Molesting children is something evil in the sight of the Lord. You understand? Raping women is something evil in the sight of the Lord. And this is all happening in the Christian church, man. You understand? The Lord just said, man, I'm going to visit upon you the evil of your doings, man. Like, if we in that Christian church right now, if you in that Christian church, man, it's time to get up out, man.
Right.
Like, what we saying is not foreign. You understand? What we saying is not foreign. You understand? Like, you see it every week. You understand? Get out of that Christian church, you understand? Isupk is the home of the truth, and this is where the Lord's real priests and prophets dwell, man. Come up and get in class, man. You understand? Isupk.com, man. Wherever you at in this earth, you go on that website, man, and you can find, you call the city that's closest to you, man, and get in class, you understand? Get on the side of the Most High for the first time in your life, you understand? This is what we have to do, man. Get away from them wicked leaders, man. Because in a little bit, like these wicked leaders, we can come in, we can go into the Christian church with the ambition of serving the Lord and becoming an entrepreneur and being all business minded and all that nonsense, you feel me? Not nonsense, but we go in there with that mindset. You know what we become? We become servants. You understand? We become servants to people who can't speak. You know how they always say, they always talk about our Isupk brothers, and they always say, well, at least learn the language of the land. Listen, outside of buying something in their store, I've never heard Asians have a political conversation. When have you ever heard Asians sit there and talk about Democrat and Republican? You understand? They don't even know what the hell it is. It don't matter to them. You understand? They got their own economy here in America. They got their own situation going on here in America. You feel me? They ain't got nothing to do with our oppressor. You understand? We the only ones who got to be intermingled with them. You understand? Keep going, Bubba, sure.
Jeremiah chapter 23, verse 3. And I will gather the remnant of my flock out of all the countries where I have driven them, and will bring them again to their folds, and they shall be fruitful and increase.
Listen, the Lord is going to bring us back, man. He's already started. Like, if you look at the UPK, man, we got brothers all across the world, man. It's not just here in the States. We got brothers in the UK, we got brothers in Jamaica, Trinidad, you understand? Haiti, Puerto Rico. We are international at this point, you understand? Like, the Lord is starting to bring his people back into the fold, man. These pastors better be careful. You understand? Keep going.
Come. Verse 4. And I will set up shepherds over them, which shall feed them. And they shall fear no more, nor be dismayed. Neither shall they be lacking, saith the Most High.
Listen, this is the UPK right here, you understand? Like, the Lord is going to, but the Lord said, I'm going to set up shepherds over them, which shall feed them, and shall fear no more, nor be dismayed. Like, this is righteous leadership, man. This is righteous leadership. The only righteous leadership you want to get in this earth is here in the UPK, man. You understand? All right, under Commander General Hunter. And listen, if you got a problem with that, you shouldn't. You understand? Because it's the truth. You understand? You only got a problem with the truth because we eat a lie. We love a lie, you understand? But we hate the truth, man. And this is the home of the truth, you understand? Here in the Isupk, the Commander General Hunter. If I could drop that, let me get Amos chapter 2, verse 4 of the show.
This is the book of Amos, chapter 2, verse 4. Thus saith the Most High, for 3 transgressions of Judah, and for 4, I will not turn away the punishment thereof, because they have despised the law of the Most High, and have not kept his commandments, and their lies cause them to err.
Here it is, man. The Lord said, the Most High said, I will not turn away the punishment thereof, because they have despised the law of the Lord, man. Who's despised the law of the Lord, man? Like, the people don't even know the law of the Lord because we never had to learn it. You understand? These so-called leaders despise the law of the Lord, man, and have not kept his commandments, and their lies cause them to err. We just read that in Isaiah 9 and 16, right? It say, and their lies cause them to err. Keep going.
Come. Because they, slack it.
After the witch.
Which their fathers have walked.
You understand? Like, these so-called leaders and pastors, man, they've caused us to turn away from the law, statutes, and commandments that our forefathers kept, man. They've caused us to be enemies to the Most High. And I see why. Keep going.
Verse 5. But I will send a fire upon Judah, and it shall devour the palaces of Jerusalem.
Keep going.
Verse 6. Thus saith the Most High, for 3 transgressions of Israel, and for 4, I will not turn away the punishment thereof, because they sold the righteous for silver, and the poor for a pair of shoes.
This is what happens, man. They sell the righteous for silver, you understand? They sell blacks, Latinos, and Native Americans who have a zeal to serve the Most High. They sell us for silver, man, and for a pair of shoes. You understand? You understand? Like, them red bottoms had a price, man. These pastors walking around with the red bottoms on, the Concord Jordans, and they got $1,000 tennis shoes on and $5,000 sneakers and all that nonsense. You understand? That came at a price, man. And that price was us, you understand? Blacks, Latinos, and Native Americans, you understand? They sold us for the riches of this world, man. They teach us to be an enemy to the Lord for the riches of this world, man. You understand? And this is why these other nations are pretty much like they're doing whatever they want to us with no regard, you understand? It seems as though they're getting away with it. Drop that. Let me get Jeremiah 12 and 7 above the show.
This is the book of Jeremiah, chapter 12, verse 7. I have forsaken my house. I have left mine heritage.
I say, I have forsaken my house, you understand? I have left my heritage, you understand? What is the Lord's heritage, man? You know what I mean? Children. The children is the Lord's heritage, man. You understand? Like, the Most High had to forsake us and leave us, man. Or we left him, really. I have left my heritage. Keep going.
I have given the dearly beloved of my soul into the hand of her
I
enemies.
have given the dearly beloved of my soul. He's talking about Israel, man. Most High is talking about blacks, Latinos, and Native Americans. You understand? He said, I've given the dearly beloved of my soul into the hand of her enemies. You understand? Like, why do the Most High have to do this? You understand? The Most High have to do this because we become such a lawless people, man.
Right.
Is it because we want to be lawless? No. It's because since the time we was yay high, man, we was always taught, man, you got to serve this oppressor, and you ain't got to keep the law, statutes, and commandments of the Most High.
Right.
And because we learned that, we watched our oppressor. We watched the Italians and the Africans and the East Indians and the Asians, the Chinese, the Japanese, the Korean. We watched them, and guess what? We started taking on their culture, man. We started becoming so-called gangbangers just like them. We started becoming so-called drug dealers just like them. We became murderers just like them. We became child molesters just like them. You understand? Because we took on their culture, man. We set aside our own. Now, what if we were taught that we got to keep the law, statutes, and commandments of the Most High? We would have been on the side of the Most High, you understand?
Right.
These Asians, these Asians and Arabs and East Indians, they could not be in our hoods, man. In our communities where we're struggling. They could not be in our hoods selling us whatever they want to sell, man. First of all, they wouldn't be in our hoods.
Right.
You understand? They would not be setting up no shop. They would not have no corner stores, you understand? They would not be selling drugs and bullets out of the liquor store. You see what I'm saying? Yes, sir?
So like, if I may too, and it's so funny because they purposely keep us out of their communities.
Mm-hmm.
Where to the point where they have watch patrols and all that.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And they'll like, because like I said, I tell people as a teacher, I could not take 70 blacks and go into any community and be teachers of their school, teaching their children at all the stores.
Right.
It just wouldn't be allowed.
Right. And I don't look at you not doing it, you understand? Everybody has a little bit of compassion and understanding and it's like a sore spot for what the Jewish man went through with the Germans, the Holocaust. You understand? Everybody feels bad about that, you understand? But you will not go to any Jewish synagogue and see any German teaching them kids.
God.
You see what I'm saying? It would be an absolute abomination. You understand? You would not go to any Jewish community and see Germans opening corner stores, you understand? And running businesses in their neighborhoods, you understand? For the Jewish people to be upset and get them out of there, the entire earth would understand, man. The entire earth would say, you know what? Because of what they did to them, we can understand why they don't want to be around them. But when it comes to blacks, Latinos, and Native Americans, the same people that oppressed and murdered us and still is oppressing and murdering us to this day, we got to send our kids to their school, man. You understand? Their teachers who hate our kids is teaching them about our history. You understand? Like, this is what's happening, man. Thanks to our black pastors, man. Thanks to our black leaders. You understand? Like, the Lord turned us over into the hand of our enemies, man, because we've been taught to be a lawless society, man, by our so-called leaders. The people that were supposed to shepherd us into being, servants of the Most High, they taught us to be enemies, man. Drop that. Let me get Jeremiah 17:4 above the show.
This is the book of Jeremiah, chapter 17, verse 4. And thou, even thyself, shalt discontinue from thine heritage that I gave thee, and I will cause thee to serve thine enemies in the land which thou knowest not. For you have kindled a fire in mine anger, which shall burn forever.
Listen, this is what happened, man. You understand? Like, we've kindled a fire in the Most High that's going to burn. You understand? Because we've been taught that we ain't got to keep His law, statutes, and commandments, man. Like, and what I'm trying to drive home is that if we were taught to keep these laws, statutes, and commandments, guess what? We would keep them. You understand? From the time we yay high and we go into grade school, we're taught rules. Like when our kids first go to school, the first time there's 6 weeks is rules. You know what I'm saying? You got to stand here, raise your hand when you want to speak. When you go out here, you got to stand in a line. Don't leave until the teacher comes up there and give you a signal. Like they got to learn the rules of how to go to school. You know what I'm saying? So if that's the case, how do we think that we're going to serve the Most High, man, if we ain't got to keep no rules? You understand? We ain't got no commandments. We ain't got no kind of moral compass that we can follow. We just winging it. You see what I'm saying? What do we think is going to happen, man? We're going to piss the Lord off to the point where the Lord say, you know what? Even though you are my special people, even though you are my chosen people, I'm going to hand you over to your enemy to correct you. Since I can't correct you, you understand? I'm going to hand you over to your enemy, and maybe he can correct you. You understand? Like, this is what's happening to us, man. And we have our Christian pastors, deacons and bishops and political leaders. These are the people who have put us in this condition, man. You understand? Like, fortunately, the Most High has raised up the Israelite School of Universal Practical Knowledge. You understand?
That's right.
The brothers are truly striving to be perfect, man. To be perfect in serving the Most High, being perfect in how we deal with each other, man. You understand? It's so important. It's so important that we've lost everything. We've lost our entire culture, man. We've lost our language. You understand? We've lost high holy days. You understand? Like, we've lost everything that makes us who we are. We've lost and disregarded it, man. Because we were never taught to love the Most High and love each other. You understand? You mean to tell me we can't keep a law simple as, man, if this sister got a man, don't touch her? You mean that's hard to do? You understand? You mean to tell me we don't have that much discipline that we won't touch a sister that got a man? You mean to tell me that we don't have enough discipline? You understand that, you know, if a brother steps on our shoe, if a brother bumps us or something like that, if a brother maintains eye contact for a second too long, you mean to tell me we ain't got enough discipline not to shoot him? You see what I'm saying? Like, we absolutely do. But the thing is, we've been taught that we ain't got to keep none of that. You understand? Which is an issue, man. That is definitely an issue, man. And what it do is, it takes our attention off serving the Lord and fighting our real enemies, man. And when I say fighting our real enemies, we got to fight spiritually. You understand? Like, right now, our warfare is spiritual and not carnal. You understand? We have a real enemy out here, black man. You understand? It's not each other. Like, we are not each other's enemies, man. And furthermore, not only are we not each other's enemies, we supposed to be brothers gaining strength from each other, man.
Right.
You understand? In the moments I'm weak, you be strong. In the moments you weak, I be strong. You see what I'm saying?
Right.
But at the end of the day, we don't lose nothing because we got each other. You understand? Like, this is how it's supposed to be, man. You understand? But no one wants to have that conversation because it involves us. I mean, giving credit to where it's due, man, and placing the blame where it belongs. That's on our person, man. These so-called black leaders, man. You understand? Like, it's been enough in the black church. What they say is like, what was the number? Like, something ridiculous, like the billions of dollars.
Well, the black church spends $50 billion a year. Over the past 10 years, they've spent over like $400 billion.
Listen. Good night. You see what I'm saying? You talking $400 billion in the black church, man. You understand? They're circling around. You mean to tell me we can't fix black people? That's what everybody always said. We need more money. We need more resources. We need more education. You understand? Like, listen, that Asian that got that Yakami joint down the street. You feel me? That you know that they catching rats in the back, you see what I'm saying? And they skinning them alive and putting them in that Yakami. You understand? And that shrimp coming in, that shrimp fried rice that we eating and stuff like that. You see what I'm saying? Like, you know that Asian didn't go to college, right?
Right.
You know he didn't go to college. I mean, he fresh off, in the words of Kawan Palak, he's fresh off the rice paddy, man. You understand? Like, he fresh off the boat, man. Coming here, he don't speak a lick of English. He just know how to speak numbers so he can, so you can pay. You know what I'm saying? And he's making upwards of 10 to 15,000 a week in the hood, man. In the hood. And he's sending his children to Ivy League schools off the dimes of black people, man. And here it is, we got our kids going to schools and they ain't even got damn air conditioning in the summertime and heat in the winter, man. But here you got Asians in our community sending their kids to Ivy League schools, man, cash. Paying cash too. You see what I'm saying? And we still don't think we're oppressed? The only reason he's able to do that is because our leaders have sold us out, man. For shoes and things cheaper than that, man. For the riches and spoils of this world, man. These Negro leaders are wicked and disgusting, man. Like, they are vain, wicked, disgusting, and they know nothing, man. Like, I'm so sick and tired of hearing, this Christian pastor, he got an idea of how he gonna shut your mouth. You understand? Shut your mouth. That's what you should be doing. That's what you understand. And you come into the UPK and you learn. Shut your mouth and come learn. You understand? Like, it's a viral video. And here's the thing, they can say anything they want about the ISUPK and how we get down. We follow these scriptures, man. You understand? But I tell you what's not in the scripture. It's a viral video of a pastor, a black pastor, got a brother standing up, and he hawk spits into his hand. He hawk spits into his hand, not once but twice, and rubs it all in the dude's face. You see what I'm saying? Some kind of enlightening spiritual moment he was supposed to have and whatnot. You understand? So we allowing ourselves to be humiliated, man. And made a mockery of in front of the entire earth. But you mean to tell me that we can't serve the Lord, man? You mean to tell me that you can't come and serve the Lord and keep these laws, statutes, and commandments? You understand? We spending billions of dollars a year on Christmas and Thanksgiving. You mean to tell me we can't come and go broke? You understand? Observing Passover. You understand? The day that the Lord separated us from our enemies and brought us out of bondage, man, and killed the firstborn sons of everything in that land. You mean to tell me we can't do that? You understand? Like, listen, we got to come out of these Christian churches and, man, we got to hold these so-called leaders accountable, man. Far too often they're not held accountable for their actions, man. And because they're not held accountable, guess what? We are dying in the streets, man. Like, we getting our heads blown off, you understand? Our children are going missing. Everything under the sun that could happen to us is happening, man. You understand? And everybody want to place the blame on everybody want to place the blame on the brothers on the corner. You understand? Them brothers on the corner, yeah, they wild. They should be wild. You know why they wild? Because these Christian pastors made them that way, man. These Christian pastors molested half of them. You understand? The other half, you understand, they took their father away from out the home, you understand, and turned their mother into a whore because she was so-called unequally yoked. You understand? They destroyed families, man. These Christian pastors need to be held accountable for what they're doing in our communities, man.
Right.
You understand? We have to understand that we do not come out of that Christian church, if we don't come out of that philosophy, if we don't come out of that way of thinking, man, these other nations are going to continue to feed on us, man. And they feeding on us like, and it's delicious to them, man. Like, they are eating. Like, we come up, we get a Benz or a Bentley and we think we're doing something. You understand? We ain't doing nothing, man. That Asian at the corner store, that East Indian in Dunkin' Donuts, that African selling all the bootleg clothes and glasses that you can find, you understand? They are living more delicious than we will ever live, you understand? You understand? So we gotta make a decision, man. We got to make a decision. Are we going to continue to be beguiled, man? Are we going to continue to be deceived? Are we going to continue to allow these people to lead us down the path of destruction, man? I mean, I hope our answer is collectively no. You understand? And if it is, we actually have a place, man. We actually have a home we can come to, man, here in the Isupk. Here in the Isupk, we're going to be taught not only how to serve the Most High and keep His law, statutes, and commandments, man. We're going to be taught how to be brothers. Sisters are going to learn how to be sisters again, man. Good night. You understand? Like far too often when they talk of black on black crime, man, they talk about the brothers. Man, these sisters are something like, listen, these sisters, I mean, like, they got some ways to them out. You see what I'm saying? Like, you think a brother's vicious, I mean, get a sister mad. You see what I'm saying? She will kill everything because her feelings is hurt. You understand? Nothing matters when her feelings get hurt. Which is a dangerous thing, man. So listen, we've got to come out of this. We've got to come out of this beast, man. Everybody, the mark of the beast, the mark of the beast. Not knowing the majority of us have the mark of the beast right now. You understand? We live in the, we keeping and entertaining, and we live in the philosophies of this oppressor, man. We're living the culture of these other nations, and we're shunning the Most High, man. We become enemies to the Most High, thanks to our Christian pastors, man. We've got to come out of that thinking. We've got to come out of that beast, man, and come back into our culture, man, and come back into the Lord's portion. You understand? And this is what we got to do in this earth, man. And with that, I just want to say shalom, be more, shalom, Israel, you understand? You understand? Like, we are the Isupk Israelite School of Universal Practical Knowledge, coming straight out of 1 West 125th Street, Harlem, New York, under Commander General Yohana. And again, if it's not under Commander General Yohana, it is not the truth. You understand? People call and say, yeah, you know, it was an Israelite group, y'all the same people, yeah. No, we're not. No, we're not. We do not, listen, we do not identify and we do not stand with nobody. We stand in this war alone. You understand? We are not joined with no one. And we've been this way since 1969, man. And we've been teaching that blacks, Latinos, and Native Americans are the true biblical Jews of the Bible, man. And we have a culture that we got to get back to. We got to stop being lied to and stop allowing these Christian pastors and these deacons and these imams to teach us how to be enemies to the Lord, man.
Right.
Come into the Isupk, man, and teach and learn how to be favored by the Most High, man. And with that, I want to say shalom. We're going to bring up Precinct Officer 500, Uriah Allah. We're going to bring him up for a reading of the security announcements. So.
Let's give that officer and priest another hand. That's what I'm talking about. Great class. This is the Isupk security announcements. We are the Isupk on 1 West 125th Street, Harlem, New York, under Commander General Yohana. New rules for brothers and sisters. When a new brother or a sister comes into the school, they are to be off limits for 6 months. They are to be saluted only. They are here to show themselves to the world. After 6 months, if a brother or sister has an interest in a particular person, he or she must get permission from the head to speak to a brother or sister. There is another 6 months in which the brother or sister will court each other. After the 6 month period, the brother or sister will get permission from the head to marry. Tithes, which is a commandment. You can find this in Numbers 18:21 and Malachi 3:8-10. Means tenth in Hebrew and is pronounced Asherah. 10% of every penny of any increase the Lord gives you, give to the treasury department or teacher. Priest fund, free will offering for priests, not mandatory. Whatsoever amount you would like to give. We got a couple upcoming holy convocations. We have Purim, which is coming up in less than a month. It's February 14th and 15th.
And then, we have the Passover coming up. April 14th, 15th. So, April 15th. Remind Akim and Akwafni to check on social media such as isupk.com, Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, and so on for Isupk events and materials. If a brother wants to be a trooper in the school, then he is to start wearing all black, which includes black boots, shirts, pants, headband, or scarf. With that, Mighty. Men of Israel, we're going to give one courtesy salute to the teacher. Men of Israel, Almighty Shabbat, Almighty Barak, Yahweh Bashim, Yahweh Shabbat, Barak, Yahweh Bashim, Yahweh Shabbat, Yahweh Shabbat, class dismissed.